What's good, y'all? It's Cap, and I'm making this video to essentially just go over some of the points that I made in the Diagonite debunk video that I posted, I think this is my latest video. And what I essentially want to do is clear up some of the misinformation that people, I wouldn't say misinformation, just misconceptions that people have in the comments, because people have been commented and basically arguing stuff that I didn't say, and which it's frustrating when you have to just reiterate what your point is to people, and they, you know what I'm saying? It gets frustrating. And I'm sorry if I stutter. I have a really bad stutter. That's why I script my videos. But so yeah, the main problem that people have with that video is that they think that I'm trying to say that Diagonite, his interpretation is wrong. His interpretation of that the information is wrong, which I never said that. I never said that he can't come to the conclusion. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that his conclusion is less reasonable, or my conclusion is more reasonable. I never said that. In fact, I didn't even come to any conclusions. I don't think people are approaching the video as if I said that what Diagonite said was wrong, and that what I'm saying is correct, the inverse of what he's saying. But what I was doing was directly attacking his argument. And what I mean by that is when you make certain claims, to debunk certain claims, you don't need to provide counter evidence. That's not the only way you can debunk an argument. You can debunk an argument by pointing out the fallacious nature of said argument, by dissecting that argument to make sure that it's not logically fallacious. So what Diagonite was doing. So let me explain. The premise of his video was essentially that the 80,000 shinobi of the Shinobi Alliance was impossible because he gave reasoning such as the Genin promotion exam. So he when Kakashi said that only 9 students would graduate in Naruto's class, or actually be promoted to Genin, and the tuning things. So he walked back the tuning argument he had, and then he basically said that Konoha cannot house that many ninja because it's too small. But that's essentially his argument. For the first part, people were on my case because I didn't prove that more students graduate. But the problem is that I don't need to do that. If you listen to what he's saying, he's basically saying that since Naruto's class only graduated 9 students, that means that only 9 students graduated a year, and then he used that number to say that it's impossible for there to be 15,000 shinobi, because that's what he got. He basically said that 80,000, 80,000 shinobi, he divided that by 5 amongst the 5 great nations, and essentially said that the Leaf Village would have to produce 15,000, and then by the 9 shinobi per year, then it would be impossible. What I did though is that I basically put that logic into question and then basically said why are we assuming that only 9 students are graduating per year? And my argument was basically this: we don't know how many classes there are. We don't know how many classes. We don't know if Naruto was the only class or not. So we can't really make a claim on that. We also don't know if the examination is yearly. That's something we don't know. So we would just not make a claim on that. The same thing, we also don't know how many year levels. And I provided evidence that there is multiple year levels, given that they have a semester system. So a semester system is a half year. So that means that they do work on some sort of year system, but maybe not a yearly graduation system. We don't know that. So that was essentially my argument. My argument was why are we assuming these certain things? I mean, we can, if we're just having a fun discussion, but remember, the context of the video is a plot hole. He's trying to say that it's a plot hole. if we wanted to have like a fun dialogue, a fun discussion, saying that like, well, this is kind of silly, you know what I'm saying, assuming these things, that's fine. But if we're gonna claim that something is a plot hole, that you know what I'm saying, that you need concrete information. You know what I'm saying? We need to know if this thing is exactly the case. This is the only thing that can happen, and then something later on in the series basically debunks that, which we don't know. Like, we don't know this information, and it's not really in defense of Naruto like that, because people were thinking like I'm just riding the series, but like, I love Naruto, but the problem here isn't a plot hole, it's a lack of like concrete world building, because this is information that we should have known about the academy, which we don't know. We don't know how, like, specifically how many students get admitted a year, or even if it's a yearly admission. Like, we don't know that shit. We don't know if the matriculation ceremony is yearly. Like, they could have new ninjas coming in every day. We don't know. They could have upwards of 5,000 students, which we don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's pushing it. But you get what I'm saying? That's really the argument. We don't know these things, so we can't assume that these things are only the case. Which is why I basically used no, I didn't say argument of ignorance. I don't want to commit a fallacy. That's you know what I'm saying? But that's basically it. That's basically like my thought process is that we don't really know these things. We can't really make any claims on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't claim, and I use these this example in the comments. It's like, let's just say that you went to a lady's house and you saw her 5 sons. You know what I'm saying? 5 sons and a lady. Then later on, you hear on the news that said lady, her 10 sons died in the war. Does that create an inconsistency? No. Why? Because for it to be an inconsistency, you have to assume that she only had 5 sons, which was never stated. It was never stated that she only had 5 sons. You only saw 5 sons, but it's never stated that she only had 5 sons. So like, it doesn't contradict anything. She could have had 5 more sons, and they just weren't there at the time. So like, that's basically the logic. If we don't know certain stuff, we can't assume certain stuff about it to make a claim for a plot hole. Which as I said earlier, if we wanted to have like a fun discussion, if it was a fun discussion, then we can have this discussion. But he framed it as a plot hole, and my thing is that you can't use assumptions. You can't assume certain things to be the case to then derive a plot hole from that. Like, I think that's just not how it works. A plot hole is an inconsistency or a gap in the story, and for there to be an inconsistency, that has to be established. If something isn't like concretely established, and then it gets contradicted, why it can't be a plot hole? you know what I'm saying? And that's usually the problem that I'm having with people in the comments. You know what I'm saying? But although it is receiving a lot of support right now, like, you know what I'm saying, it's just a lot of people just don't understand that. And there's also the thing where like, people think that like I'm like, I think I touched on this earlier at the beginning of the video, but like, people think that I'm saying that 80,000 ninjas is possible, like, is the truth. Like, it makes sense for there to be 80,000 ninjas. I never postulated that. Like, that's not a claim that I made. Like, I'm not making the claim that 80,000 ninjas, you know what I'm saying, is more reasonable than there not being 80,000 ninjas. I'm saying that if what you're using to say that there's not 80,000 ninjas isn't concrete information, then there is, you know what I'm saying, there's no reason we can't make a claim on that. You know what I'm saying? I can just assume the inverse. And then also, if what you're using to the end result, which is the 80,000, if 80,000 actually exists, which we know that is true, 80,000 shinobi did exist because they were at the war, that means that kind of debunks the notion that, you know what I'm saying, these things that you're trying to say, like you're trying to assume to be the debunks to it, that these things just aren't true then. Like, we just assume the things that would make that thing possible, you know, since they're both making assumptions. Like, I don't know, bro. Like, I just wanted to rant, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a filler video. I'm actually working on a moderate video right now, bro. That's just gonna be so peak. I hope y'all like this rant style video. I don't know what kind of background I'm gonna do for this shit. I doubt I'm gonna do any sort of editing to this shit either way. Like, I'm probably gonna title this shit as like Diagonite fans don't understand argumentation. Or like the things that look. I don't hate Diagonite. I just think that some of the stuff he says is like kind of iffy. You know what I'm saying? but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna add like some freaking Ninja Storm 4 background gameplay or whatever in the background or whatever. And yeah, like, peace out. Like, stay tuned for the new video. I just wanted to get this out there. I want to get this off my chest because people just aren't understanding what I'm saying.